Check, check, check. Let's see if this works. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Okay. So the I'm setting up right now, but the goal here is essentially if anybody wants to come in and debate me, talk about something that they want to talk about, or feels very strongly about an issue, I would like to break it down and figure out if and why you feel that way. That's my goal. I want to know exactly why people feel so strongly about certain opinions that they have. Because I'm not so convinced that anybody should feel any sort of strong opinions about anything that they necessarily believe. I would like to know. Hmm. If I can see the chat, though, that'd be great. How do I see the chat? Let me see something. I think what might be fun is that potentially I go and find a live stream and try to debate some people. Because I think it would be kind of fun to do that. Why is it that I can't find any lives about this shit anymore right now? I was having so much fun doing this yesterday. Maybe it's because I'm on the wrong channel. Maybe I have to switch to my YouTube is really bad at like it's impossible to find any channels on this shit. Kind of crazy. Hmm. Yeah, but why don't we just like go and colonize, for example, like the Arctic, for example, with like a dome? Why don't we start there, like to practice? No. No, I know, but we got to pretend like it's a vacuum of space, right, with no atmosphere. So we need some sort of practice, as if like, well, you'd have to practice somewhere, and the closest that we have on Earth is like pretty much like the poles, right? Why not? Or the moon or something? No, we would start on the moon. No. Yeah, but that's the gravity situation. I'm speaking specifically also like I'm saying you need to make like a. They all want it. Of course they do. What do you mean? Of course they do. No, he's disfigured. It's not. It's that he doesn't want to show himself in person, but he's still alive and working. I thought it was Israel that wasn't following the rules in Lebanon, which was part of the memorandum. I thought that's why they. Yeah. No, it's all good. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. You're fine. It was part of the memorandum, though. Okay, but that's my point. I agree, but that's my point is that the whole deal was that specifically that Israel was not supposed to do anything with Lebanon or invade it anymore or bomb it. And they broke that part of it. And then, no, no, you're talking about the Christian president, which, the streamer yesterday said that, which again, we have to distinguish between the Christians of Lebanon and the actual, like, people who are in power in Lebanon, because the Christians of Lebanon do not have outside say or power. They were put in that position of, no, no, but we're talking about the phalangists. We're talking about the Christians of Lebanon. These are not the same people. Not, no. Hezbollah is not just a proxy of Iran. It's yeah, for them kind of, yeah. It's no, it's not really the same thing. Like it's not really the same. Because they don't like control it's they control the south, and they control the south of Lebanon and or Beirut, but they also like specifically do not like enforce like any laws in particular. Like it's the prime minister is the one who has the power in Lebanon, who is Muslim. He's not Christian. The Christians, for example, the Christians have always in Lebanon have always aligned with Israel. So this notion that like that they would go outside of the boundaries of what Israel wants, like it's just not historical. They've all like they're the phalangists. They're the guys who literally committed the murders of Sabra and Shatila in the 80s. Like, and I know you might say like, oh, that was so long ago, but no, like this is like the Christians of Lebanon have the okay, but what I'm saying is that like the Christians of Lebanon, and I'm saying this because like like I have family who are the Christians of Lebanon, so I know very much about this. Is that specifically they are the people who have always aligned. Like if you go all the way back, the reason why the Christians align with it does be, right, but that's my point is that but yeah, but he was also saying that the Lebanese want them to invade the south of Lebanon because the Christian president said that he wants that. That's my point. It doesn't, it's, no, but the Lebanese don't, is what I'm saying. Like, they don't. The Christians want it. No, because, no, you're talking about American Iranians. It's kind of like saying Cuban Americans want us to go into Cuba. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, no, you're talking about no, you're talking about pro monarchist Iranians. You're talking about those guys, the guys who are pro monarchy. Where did you get that from? Yeah, okay. No, I mean, you're right that there are people in Iran that want to get rid of the IRGC because but if you look at it now, that's probably not the case because they see that they are an important bastion to protecting themselves against the United States. Yeah, until the Shah. Until the overthrow of the Shah. No, no, no. It's that was before Mossadegh. It was Mossadegh. It was Mossadegh. It had nothing to do with the Shah of Iran. The Shah overthrew the Mossadegh, and then after that, because they were so pissed that the Americans had overthrown Mossadegh with the Shah, only then did they actually like. In 1953, the United States, the CIA overthrew Mossadegh, the Okay, but the CIA, no, the CIA put a lot of influence and did a lot of pamphlets. What year? Right. Yeah, like it's a momentary alignment with the IRGC that a lot of people in Iran have right now. They're like, I don't like the IRGC, but they're the ones at least who have the weapons to protect us against the bombings from the Americans and the Israelis. That's how they see it. Right. And so your average Iranian is not going to be in favor of that. Yes, it is. It's civilian infrastructure. It's civilian infrastructure. Of course, it's a war crime. No, no, no. Civilian infrastructure includes power plants. It includes oil refineries. Anything that makes roads. I mean, yeah, we bombed a school of children. You know. Yes, it is. That's what do you. What does that mean? I I mean I believe in international law. I think we should believe in it. But that's what happens. There are a lot of correct. There are a lot of different kinds of war crimes. Yeah, there are. It's not just one war crime. Because children die if they can't get food, for example, if we destroy civilian infrastructure. Okay, but like for example, if you turn off the power, then like let's say there's a child that's in a hospital who needs power for his hospital in order to survive, then we're killing children indirectly. That's why it's a war crime. Because people like it is. No, but we did bomb a hospital. We did bomb a hospital. Wait, we did bomb a hospital like a month ago, like 3 weeks ago. No, like we just did. But we did. We did bomb a hospital. Is this? Are we talking about Pat Tillman? Is this? Are we talking about Pat Tillman? Is the headshot thing? Isn't that the same story? Wait, hold on. One thing at one person at a time, because I can't hear anything. Isn't that what Pat Tillman was the one who like exposed that stuff and then he got killed or something? Wasn't that him? I thought that he was wasn't he like trying to expose people in the military targeting civilians and his own patroller patron like whatever the fuck like didn't like that shit and then killed him. That was the understanding I understood from that shit is that he was murdered by his own patrol of people. Yeah, so they initially claimed that there was an exchange with hostile forces, and after a lengthy investigation, so they hid the fact that he was killed by friendly fire, though. Yeah, but I, I So wait. So you think that it's okay to level every single part of? You can level every single building in the entire area because some people live in like they're hiding in tunnels. What? Don't you think that we should Israel should go in and actually try to find these tunnels instead? Instead, they're going to level all of the civilian infrastructure. You're saying that yes, if you want to engage with them, you have to get dirty. No, wait, hold on. Let me understand this argument. Let me understand this argument because you're arguing that essentially it's okay to kill and level every civilian infrastructure in case just so we can get the bunkers under the ground that have the quote unquote terrorists. But they didn't always just do that. That's propaganda. That's not true. Oh, so you're saying they did it for every single building in the entire area? Because there's not a single building left standing. What about okay, but what about those drones? What about those drones? Like that they come in and they like do crying baby sounds so that people come out and then they shoot you in the head. What about those drones? I'm saying like no. I'm saying that they have okay, so for example, have you heard about the reports that for example in Lebanon they have right now drones that are flying up above people's heads and they're playing sounds. What? Okay, but then okay, so but I'm saying according to everything everybody that you don't like is a terrorist. That's yeah, but you what are you defining as a terrorist? Yeah, please define that. You're the one who's calling them a terrorist. I don't agree with this framing. Yeah, are Israelis not terrorists? I don't understand. Is leveling an entire area not terrorism? What is Oh, okay. So then what is a terrorist to you? Then what is a terrorist? If level Okay, but I'm saying if leveling all of the civilian infrastructure in an area is not terrorism, then what is terrorism? Get fucked. I don't know what to tell you if that's your argument. What are you talking about? Is it wait, don't you think it's like kind of convenient though that like it's always that there's human shields, they're hiding behind people, but these are also tactics that specifically Israel has committed in. Don't you think it's like kind of a convenient excuse that this is always the excuse? Yes, we know, but they're no, not directly connected. They're next to it. It was an old military base that is now a school. It was old information. But Okay, but don't you think it's kind of convenient that like there's always an excuse for bombing civilian infrastructure? Yeah, I mean, no, I'm actually asking, like, don't you think it's kind of convenient that there's always like an excuse as to why Israel's allowed to kill civilians, but other that everybody else who does is like terrorists? I don't understand. Doesn't Israel do the same thing about the rockets? I don't understand. Like, you can just say the same thing about the other side. Like, at what point are you just like picking a side? What you seem pretty extreme too, brother. Don't you you seem like the same as them. You sound the same as them, brother. I'm telling you. Like the most like you're the one who's saying crazy shit. Why? Wait, why though? Why are they different? What? Brother. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, brother. We gave them mustard gas. The bomb, yeah, bombs are, yeah, exactly. They're not. They're dirty bombs. That's what they argued. have a question. Is it okay? Then can I ask a question then? At what point do we ever? Is it possible for us to become terrorists? That's my question. Are we? Is there any circumstance in which we can look at ourselves and be like, we're terrorists? Mm-hmm. Hello. What's up? What are you talking about? Oh, is there like a debate going on right now? I thought it was just people talking. Oh, but I stopped talking, but I feel like the thing is that there's a lot of points that are being made that should be addressed that aren't really like getting like there's a lot of like claims being thrown out that aren't like being stopped and being investigated, which I think are crucial to understanding like the matter of what we're choosing to believe. Because then otherwise people are just speaking past each other. It's like, this is my opinion. Okay, well, this is my opinion. Then people are just like, okay, well, nobody agrees then. So it doesn't really make any sense to me. Well, but that my thing is, what I don't understand is, if somebody makes a claim, should they not have to then go into it and say why they believe this thing? Like, that's my thing. Should that not be important to the discussion? But so they get to dictate the conversation completely, like they just get to say, oh well, this is true, and then it's like, okay, but can we address whether that is true? That you can't do that at all? That, like, that's considered to be like, that's considered like, you can just say, so then it's not a debate, it's more just like self masturbation a little bit. Like, he could just go into another chat channel, right? Like, why go into the debate void chat if they're masturbating? Wait, what about this other guy, this E something? Like, I can't see the rest of the names, but he was just doing the same thing I was doing, which is just saying stuff every now and then. Yeah. But why is he not getting kicked for interjecting and saying the same thing I'm doing? Yeah, I mean, circle jerks, masturbation, sure. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm understanding, is that, like, they're making points, they're either agreeing with it, and if you disagree with it or if you push back on it, then they get pissed off. Like, that seems kind of like, so it's not a debate, it's just masturbation. Okay. Yeah, why don't you go into the man cave? Like, that seems like a better chat channel for that. Like, you want to be with the bros, you want to give them a little bro job, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the whole point of the debate channel, right, should be like, you should be able to to have conversations, like to have disagreements, to have I mean, that's why that was my understanding of the room, right? Is the room is that it's a debate voice chat, but like if it was more of that, then it should be more into the chill room or the man cave. That would be my understanding of like which chat or channel should be in what, you know? Okay, well, I also have like a separate Discord as well if you ever wanted to like just debate with me, and like I'm not gonna like tell you what to and what not to do. Like I don't give a shit. Like okay. Here, this is I I can give, sorry, what? Yeah, I like I said, I think if you want to just share your opinions and not be questioned, I don't think you should be in a debate voice chat. That for sure would be my first argument, you know. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Uh I'm okay also just staying here and debating here as well. Like I'm okay debating with you guys here. If they seem like they don't really want to talk, then I'm like perfectly fine. So yeah, that's okay. Then I don't need to be in there. Like I'm not like pressed to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't want to talk, you know. It's and there's nothing against them. It's just like it's just I don't feel like it's productive. It's not conducive to anything useful or uh, like if I don't, and also it doesn't make me feel very good. It's like, oh, okay, they don't want to hear a different perspective. Then like, okay, so what am I doing? Like, I don't have to be here. Then, you know. So I uh huh. It's situationally sure. I've had it both ways, and I think it's pineapple on pizza is kind of like a dessert more than it is like an actual pizza. I don't know. It's well, actually, it's more like putting. It's like kind of like putting barbecue sauce actually on pizza, where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it gives it that sweet tang, and it's like but it's I don't know. Like, is it my first choice? Like, no. But if it's the only thing there, do I hate it? Nah. Like I won't kill myself, but like I'll maybe mentally be like, I want to kill myself, but uh, in 2024, I did not vote. No, I did not. No, I mean, like, for me, like I'm part Lebanese, so like I'm not really somebody who aligned with either of these people, to be honest. I felt that their approach to Palestinians is pretty calloused in general. So I was like, because like, it's kind of weird. It's like I'm getting told by both of these people that like I'm a terrorist, and like I shouldn't, like, that, like I like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird, like being the person who like is literally the person that they're talking about, and being told that like, oh, all of these people are like a hive mind, they're all terrorists. It's like, it's very weird. It's like being on the other side of that, like hearing that and being like, wait, that's very strange. Like, I don't know. It's like, like it makes you reevaluate. It's like how can I feel positively towards any of these people? You know what I mean? Like when everybody's telling you that, like gaslighting you and telling you like none of this shit matters. It's like, okay, well then I don't know. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it seems a lot like projection. Like they call other people terrorists, but it's like, aren't you kind of like, I listen to the people who they call terrorists. I find them to be fundamental and like kind of crazy, but then it's like I hear like fundamentalists from America, and I'm like, I don't see your opinions to be that different than the people you seemingly hate. Like you would imagine that you actually align with these people, but like because you both believe in pretty similar things, like, so I that's what I don't really understand. I think it's just like it's kind of like a team sport for people, like where I don't really see it this way. Like I it shouldn't be. Like it should be like, if you care about America, right? You care about the wellness of people in America or like elsewhere, then you should care about the wellness of people. Like it's kind of like a rising tide raises all ships, right? Like I don't know. Like I have trouble being like that any particular person is like fundamentally like evil or this or that. Like it's just, people are people, it's kind of hard for me to be like, there's just, you can define people, people will just be people. That's how I feel about it. I don't know. Right. Who? Hmm. I I mean, to be fair, I also to some extent agree that there's like I would feel the same way, right? It's like I want people to get the right information and I don't want people to get shitty information, right? I think you're muted, Fury, if you're talking. Oh, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Oh, okay. Sorry, could you repeat that, Chocolate? I might have not heard you what you said just there. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I think is also strange is like that's what I was kind of talking about yesterday. It's like what does freedom mean? You know what I mean? Like when you really break it down, like what is freedom to you? Like I was talking to the streamer about this yesterday. It's like cuz he's saying it's the land of the free, but it's like terms and conditions apply, right? So it's like then to what extent then what is freedom? You know what I mean? Like freedom I mean, I agree with the that terms and conditions should apply that, but like then we shouldn't really be using these broad brushes for what freedom or like being liberal or all or like what's uh what's the other liberty? Sorry, like we should not have these like broad brushes about like what these like we shouldn't just say like we are the freedom country or we believe in freedom or liberty. Then it's like then to some extent like every country is kind of like that, right? Every country has some levels of freedoms and liberties, but the terms and conditions apply based on what is like relative to their country. And that's why it's like when you break it down it's like what makes America any more or less or different. Like I can't really understand why there's this sort of like chauvinism, I guess is the word. It's like where it's like I love America. America is the best. Blah, 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 blah. It's like like can't like I understand that you grew up here, you love it. It's like I do too, and I love it. I grew up here. I love America, but like then the question becomes like what does it mean to like to love America really and then it's like you go back it's like oh it's whatever you want it to mean it's like whatever you want it to be and I don't know it becomes very confused it's like it's like that's why I just want to get to the bottom of like what it is that people believe like when you ask enough questions and because I think that's really where you get to the root of like being able to maybe change your mind is like you can't really like debate or change people's minds unless you yourself are able to analyze what it is that like you say things and what do you believe like what really at your core do you believe I that's what I think is important. Brazilian Portuguese or like actual like Portugal. Okay. So you're saying that people will vote based on like who aligns with their like ethnicity is what you're saying, like who is nicer to their ethnicity, is that what you mean? Or I'm not sure I understand exactly. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think under, so the way I see it, right? I live in a blue state. So for me, my lack of voting on Kamala was largely influenced on the fact that I was not afraid that New York would go red. You know what I mean? So like I'm like I live in New York. If it goes red, it's not on me. Like there's something deeply wrong with something going on in this country if it's going red. Like you can't win without New York. So it's like even if I didn't vote for it, then there's something more fundamental than just me not voting specifically. But like my problem, so like I would always advocate, like maybe this is kind of revealing myself a little bit, but I would advocate that if you're in a swing state, you should probably vote for the Democratic Party, just in general, because like those are the votes that matter. But do I think that you yourself like matter, like does your vote actually matter outside of those swing states? I would argue for the most part no, like they really don't. Like I don't know, you could say like if everybody thought that and nobody voted, then everything would shift anyways, but and I agree with that. Sure. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and he used that propaganda, right? Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I mean, I listen. I agree with you. I think that there is a propaganda that Trump uses 100%, and it's important to try to like, especially if you know, want things to move more in a direction that are maybe a little kinder to your average citizen, average person, average like person who lives in America, blah blah blah. It's good to vote against things that are antagonistic and like very like strict against like what is America, what is an American. Like I think that's a good thing. But I think for me it really came down to like Palestinians and how dehumanized they were, and I see like how much Kamala lost because of that. Like I see, and like it did change the propaganda around that a lot too. And I think that her, I mean, I, as much as I hate that Trump is the president, I think her losing so devastatingly because of that has shifted the conversation from that stuff a lot, like for the better. And that's like the one bright side to this, I think, is that like people were so disgusted by her saying I'm doing the same thing as what Joe Biden was doing, and people were like, fuck you, like that's fucked up, you know. I think that we live in a system in general that is, because okay, so the way I see it, right, we live in a system in which every year we have corporations and things like that that need to make a profit, right? So that means, and there's an endless growth model that's going on, right? And to me, I don't think that this is sustainable. I think that this is like a sort of thing that like our system in and of itself cannot, we cannot absorb this sort of like system in which we have to grow an extra 20% on top of the 20% on top of the 20% every year for the stocks and for our margins for this for that. And so what I see is that we have a system that in general is completely going to become unaffordable for your I mean, it already is becoming like I'm sure everybody is noticing this, like everything's getting more expensive, and it's like, and you know, people blame the individual presidents or this or that, but it really has nothing to do with them, especially because they both kind of agree with each other on these framings, like that, like one side is like, oh, I love increasing growth and profits for our corporations, and it's like the other side says the same thing, then it's like, okay, well then in terms of like being pro business, like in terms of being like, and like not pro like working class people being able to bring in more money and all this stuff, like I am more concerned that like, you know, as much as we constantly talk about how much we love our businesses and stuff like that, it's like, okay, but then that means we don't really love the workers that have to work for those businesses. And I'm just seeing like a relative immiseration over time that's happening, that is making everything more expensive, everything worse, and that's what I'm scared of. Like I think that like I think that the Democratic Party is just not meeting this. I think that they are aligned a lot with the Republican Party on these same sorts of sorry, what? Yeah, I think that, you know, the way in which the Democrats and Republicans are different, it's more social issues. It's like the Democrats are very much pro like they're pro gay, pro trans, like pro immigration. I mean, not last time. I mean, Kamala was very much like we have to close the border and all that shit, but usually, you know, but it's like it's social issues in which they like align very much with like certain immigrant groups or certain you know, like, but I'm starting to, you know, notice that Democrats are like, oh, we need to become more moderate. We need to become more moderate. You know, like that's constantly what they say every time it's like not good enough. It's like we need to be more like the Republicans. Like we need to be more like Liz Cheney. I But I'm not so convinced that any of these choices will make the difference in the long run, though, because I I think that, for example, I think Xavier Becerra. I mean, people were saying that he's like funded by by oil companies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that means like, and like pharmaceutical companies now. So like my concern was that he like was not necessarily somebody who, I don't know. I was under the impression that like he also had standards for wanting to like he's funded by Chevron and stuff like that, right? So like my concern is that he would be looking out for Chevron, no? Mm-hmm. No, but we're talking. But you know about super PACs, though, right? But they have, yeah, and they have like red boxes where they say, they on their campaign website they put something in a red box and they're like, if you're a super PAC and you see my website, this is what I want you to talk about. So like, if like for example there's an oil company that wants to put ads out that are pro Xavier Becerra and they're dropping millions of dollars for that through super PACs, then they're going to be like, oh, look at this red box that says exactly how we fight against our opposition. It's like this, you know, like that's my concern with that. Like it's just, it's legal bribery, but like with an extra step, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to report it, like none of it. Yeah, like he wouldn't openly advertise that, but do you think that somebody who Chevron thinks is friendly to them and they would give money to that person, that when they're in office that they would, that like that's what I'm saying, is like they don't have to openly say these things, but behind closed doors they can talk to Chevron representatives and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to try to close any pipelines. I'm going to be friendly to opening pipelines, whatever it is. And like they don't have to advertise any of that shit. And then like once they're out there opening these pipelines and stuff and helping, or like they're given bills or this or that, then they could just be like, okay, well then like they just let them through. You know what I mean? They don't have to necessarily be directly involved. You know, it's that's what I mean, is that like if a company likes you, then you should avoid that candidate, right? Like that's my thing. It's like, mhm. But he's aligned with corporate Democrats, is he not? I agree with you. No problem. All right. But yeah, what I mean, what I would say though along that lines uh is that personally, I think this is how I think for the most part is that if there is a the way I see it anymore at this point is that if I feel as though there are large corporations that are trying to give money to a candidate, to me that's already like a red flag. Like immediately. Like I think that because it tells me that like there's a reason why these corporations want to give somebody money. They want to have favors or curry favors or this or that. And like even through super PACs, I mean like there for me it's like there has to be a reason because like that's just how I see it. It's just like for example, like if there is like if you have two choices, right? You have a candidate who very much does not want to line with that, and they want to because they want to convince people that like, oh, I want to have your interests at heart, like that's what I want, right? And then there's another candidate that is getting like super PAC, like super PACs are doing ads for you based on corporations and stuff. I don't know. It seems like that's I would pick the guy who is not doing the super PAC stuff. Like that's usually what I would do. Just because it's the same with the APAC stuff. It's like that like APAC doesn't need to necessarily give somebody directly money. They can just do super PACs or dark money packs, and all that could be super secret. But if there are ads that are coming out of nowhere that are like starting to talk about this person online, like on the TV and the ad waves, and I would be like a little like like who is this like Progress for America Corporation or whatever? Like what are these packs that are do? It's like what interest do they have? You know, it's to me it's very sketchy. It's like who like they might not give you like that's the thing. Corporations and politicians they don't necessarily give you the favors right away and they might not ever advertise these things, but it's like once they come knocking on your door and they say we need you to do this, then you're gonna do it, you know. That's how I feel about it. It's like it's and that's how I see it. That's why for me Becerra was like super sketch, like because I a lot of people were saying like showing all these ways in which he was getting super PAC money from all these other areas, and that's why I was like, oof, I don't know, man. Like that's a little sketchy. I know. See, that people go on streamers platforms and they and what they like the streamer talks to them or what endorses them. What, like, do you have a particular thing in mind? Uh-huh. He had Donald Trump on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's undeniable. Like I would be an idiot to say that that doesn't have any impact at all. Yeah, I think it 100% has. Yeah, but why? Do you have like a point about this that you want to talk about? Yeah. No, I think that I think that it's very important and it's good that people are at least politicians that they're trying to get their platform out there through popular means, like through the people talking to like back then it was if you ever talk about like back in the Roman times, it's going to the forums, it's throwing parties, it's throwing festivals, all this stuff. But the same way, it's like now it's going on streamers and doing events with streamers and all this stuff. And I think that like yeah, 100%, like I think that that's normal. I think that that's probably healthy. I think that that's I think they people should do that. Do I think that it's good that it helped Trump? No, not in particular. I'm not a big fan of Trump. But that. D- but do I think it's effective? Yeah, I think it's very effective. 100%. It works very well. Oh, January 6th or Jan- January 8th or whatever the fuck it's January 6th. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, he thought the election was rigged, so he tried to make the election go his way. Yeah. Oh yeah, he used like Facebook events, he used Twitter, he used yeah, I mean and yeah, he said the Dominion voting machines were lying. Fox News was also proliferating this and they got sued for it. Yeah. I mean, you're right. That is 100% something that happened that the right-wing media was doing and that they were uh yeah. I don't disagree with you on any of this stuff. I'd be the first to tell you that these things 100% happened. I watched it happen in real time. I mean, yeah, it's mostly because CNN and MSNBC like nobody respects or likes these channels because I mean, especially like I said with the whole Gaza stuff, like they essentially denied that that shit was happening, and it's kind of hard to trust a news channel when they're just being a mouthpiece for the state. I mean, like obviously you can say the same thing about Fox News and Donald Trump, right, or Newsmax, but like I would say that there is something more vicious about people who are the Make America Great Again people, like who they're more vicious in their agreement with Donald Trump than liberals are with Joe Biden. Like they're more like I think that a lot of liberals are very much like there's a joke online. I'm sure maybe you've heard of it. It's like blue MAGA. Like it does exist. These people do exist, but I think MAGA is more the joke is that they're similar to MAGA, right? Like the point is that MAGA is kind of like a cult. Like it's like MAGA like really deeply believes in like this man and that they love this man so fucking much and they think that everything he says is essentially gospel. Or even some people argue that he literally is the voice of God. Like yeah, or that he is like I've seen it. Like I've seen people, like you talk to enough people, they'll say he's a messenger of God. Like I'm not even joking. Like you go to evangelical churches, like this is what they say. Like you know, so but I think that I think there's a lot of people in the liberal camps though that are very much like sycophants with Joe Biden at the time as well. Like they're pretending like Joe Biden what his brain wasn't melting and shit like that. Like but it wasn't, would I say it's as bad as the Republicans? I would say it depends on who you ask. Some people are actually like Democratic operatives that do go out there and do specifically lie on behalf of the Democratic Party. Like I've seen it on Twitter. There's a lot of those people who do get paid. Like Chorus, I don't know if you've heard about this, but like Chorus was like a thing where like they paid a bunch of creators to talk really nice things about Kamala Harris and like the Democratic Party in general and like all this sort of stuff. Like so there are obviously like people who do get paid to only say nice things about the Democratic Party to make a sort of astroturf like MAGA type of like fealty and loyalty. But I don't think it's as vicious as MAGA, because I think that a lot of people are getting paid to do this, whereas MAGA, it's like they actually believe this. Like I like people are really like I think that a lot of Democrats are willing to be like, I don't love the Democrats, but I'm voting against Trump. Like that's what you hear about a lot of Democrats. It's like I don't love everything they do, but they're way better than Trump. Like that's how a lot of Democrats talk. But like you hear Trump supporters are like, I love Trump. Like it's like crazy. It's different. Like the vibes are different. 100%. Like like a lot of people didn't love Joe Biden. Like that's why he had a 30% approval rating. Even amongst his base, he had like a 40%, 50% approval rating sometimes. Like, you know, the silent majority. They're nothing but yeah, there's never nobody louder than MAGA, bro. Like I like I can't escape how loud they are. It's crazy, dude. Silent my ass. Oh, like after COVID. Yeah, I think because because I think after COVID, people's brains broke and they're like, it was not cool how we tried to tell people to not take vaccine. Like people got mad that like Facebook and YouTube were taking down videos that were like anti-vaccine, and I think and now they're like, oh, actually, we should let anti-vaccine stuff have its say. Like that's what happened. And I think that people's brains broke at that point on. Like the world has changed immensely. Like we just let anybody say anything now. I think the CEO of Google. I think YouTube is Google. What do you mean? I think it's because you engage in it now. Usually your feed is whatever you engage in. Like if you're like confused by it and you click into it, then they're gonna send you a bunch of shit that's like that. Yeah, you gotta understand that like whatever you click and you engage in, even if it's like weird to you, they're gonna start sending you that shit more often. Like that's just what happens. There's not really that the only way to avoid it is you have to skip it, even if you want to look at what they're doing. Like you want it's like why are these people streaming sleeping? Like I think I've seen it like once, but I and are you talking about like the stuff where like people are doing like really weird streams where they're like popping bubble wrap or something, or like they're trying to do like a hook, like a crane or something, trying to get things out of like a machine or like a game box or whatever, and they're like send in more likes and we'll do this thing, we'll get it done, we'll get it done, like or something like I've seen a lot of stuff like that, but I just stopped engaging in it, and then it went away. But no, I haven't seen what you're talking about in particular. Like, maybe I've seen one person stream sleeping, and I immediately dodged it because I knew if I stayed on it, then they're gonna keep fucking feeding me shit like this. Is the problem? Yeah, it's yeah, I don't really understand why, or maybe it's like bots. To be honest, I have no idea what the fuck's going on with that shit at all. There's a lot of slop. 100%. There's like a lot of fucking slop on the internet nowadays, and it's getting. I think it's getting worse. Somehow it's getting worse. I don't really get it, but it is happening. Yeah. Yeah, it's more that I don't align like this. I reject the framing. Like I reject that there's only Democrat and Republican, and it's like I think that Democrats and Republicans are almost two sides of the same coin in some regard. That's kind of my position. Is that Republicans are worse, but I think that Democrats have a lot of the bad Republican traits, in which make them very similar to them. That they pretend like they're better, but they're not. Like one of those things is Gaza. You know what I mean? Like that was one of those things that like was very clear to me. It's like both Republicans and Democrats aligned on that completely 100%. And like that's my position. It's like that's why I don't like the framing of like, oh, I'm a Democrat, oh, I'm a Republican. It's like maybe I align more with like what the Democrats say they align with, but I don't believe that Democrats necessarily do align with what they say they align with. Is what That's my argument, if anything. It doesn't have to. I assume like you're, for example, like you're anti-abortion though, right? Yeah. So you could understand why some people are like you align with the conservatives on that regard, for example. But why? But if he were to be found, you would think that that person should still carry it. I mean, it would highly depend, right? I mean, some people, I assume, it'd be a rape baby, right, as you said. So a lot of people would maybe resent the baby, or like would but that's also the thing. It's like it doesn't just have to be via rape that somebody would resent their own baby if they were forced to give birth to it. Like for example, if they had sex just because they wanted to have sex, right, and then they got pregnant, then but they had to give birth to it, like you can still have the same resentments at the end of the day. So should they have abortions in that circumstance as well? Wait, what? You're wait. I'm. You're saying. Uh, you're saying that under the circumstances that somebody is underage, that they should be able to get an abortion. Sorry, I didn't. I think your thing got cut out. Plan B. Yeah, that's an abortion. Is it not? But that's okay. So let's go to that. Let's really figure this out then. Let's start square one. When do you think when do you think life, or when do you think it's important, when's the last, like, is there a period in time in which you would say it's okay to do abortion just flat out for any reason? You say the next day is okay, right? But I mean, if she knows that, then it's been a couple of weeks at that point. Yeah. Yeah, so did she have an abortion at that point? But do you think that that's fair on his part? That it's like he doesn't feel like he's fit to be a father, she doesn't feel like she's fit to be a mother, they don't want to be together doing this, like the kid will clearly live in a miserable household because neither of them want it. That seems kind of fair, right? It's like neither of them want to do it. It's like it's unfortunate, but it like it like we do more brutal things in this society. Is this like the really the worst thing that we could? Is this the worst? Like, is this, you know what I mean? Morally speaking, like for example, we eat animals, right? We have slaughterhouses like to eat, but like, we don't ever stop and question like whether or not like that's okay, like, because we say it's based on necessity, right? Like food is necessity. So then in the same circumstance, like money is necessity, and if a kid is way too expensive for your budget, then shouldn't that also play an equation as to whether or not like one should have a baby? Because like if you can't properly take care of it, then like is it not fair that somebody be in a circumstance in which they can just be like, this is like, I can't do this, like I don't want somebody to have a terrible life because I couldn't make I made relatively the selfish choice that like this kid would have to live and have to go through all the shit circumstances in which I would have to put it through. I don't know. Yeah, but why is it a blessing? It's just like a cum shot's not a blessing. Like what makes a zygote more of a blessing than a cum shot, you know? Yeah. Are there? Uh-huh. Yeah. But what if she sucks? What if she's an evil person? What if she's like a really abusive, evil person who abuses the child? Like, would you feel as though this is like fair for the child to be born with an unstable person like that? What if he's evil? What if he's unstable? Like what are the circumstances in which like a child should grow up in misery, you know? So so your argument is essentially that people need to get past their vices or their problems and this and try to make a better life for the child. But what if they can't? What if they refuse to? Then should the kid just grow up in a miserable household where they're depressed and maybe they become suicidal one day and then kill themselves? Or like maybe they're poor their entire life and they're miserable. Is that but what it but you think that we should compel people to do that? No? But that's a lot of but I agree with you, but if we're passing laws in which abortion is illegal, that's necessarily what happens. Because that every single case in which somebody decides to go through with the pregnancy, even when abortion is legal, right? That means that that person is in a right state of mind to want to have a baby, right? But if it's illegal, then the state is actually compelling that person to make the baby go through that sort of life because both the parents don't want it, but they legally can't do anything about it. It was 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, right? Yeah, yeah. So in that circumstance, it has to be abortion, which is no different. Like the baby is not gonna feel it if that makes you feel any better. Like they don't get real sensations until like I think this the like pretty far into the first trimester, maybe second trimester. So like it like honestly, it's just like from what I understand, because I do have friends that got abortions, and I'm pro-abortion because I'm under the circumstance that like life is already hard as is. Like I wish we could live in a world in which we didn't have to do things like this,
but I think that there are sometimes necessary evils like this, where it's like you're in a circumstance in which you cannot provide for this child. Like, why should I, the state, compel you to do something that you know is not going to be for the betterment of anybody involved? Some people just like they have like as much as you'd like to for it to not be the case. Some people just fuck because they're attracted to each other, and that's it. Like, but they might not be good people. They might not be like willing or able to have like raise a child together. You know, like, and obviously back in the day this was not an option really. If you had sex and you had a child, like, you had to go through with it. But we have the technology now to essentially make this like not so painful for anybody involved, and people can, and people still do enjoy their lives and stuff like that. Like, I I'm not of the belief that, like, I don't know, I have trouble like being like, we need to, you need to, like, do this thing that, like, because like I come from a family in which I have parents who wanted to have a kid, and even in that circumstance, it's not necessarily always a case where it's like a good ending. And I just can't imagine how much better it would be if it was two people who didn't even like each other, and then like had a child selfishly because they felt as though, like, I don't know, I like, I don't know, it really, for me, it's like, it's a case by case basis, but I don't think the state should compel you to do these things, because people do get abortions even when you illegalize it. Like, like, in a world in which we could say like, oh, I want to make abortions illegal, it's like it doesn't mean abortions are going to go away either. Like, people are still going to try to do it. They're just going to do it kind of more riskily, and it gets to a point where it's like, why are we even doing this? Like, why are we harming the potential mother's life? Like, why not just, like, if she really doesn't want the kid, then, like, fuck, why am I gonna be like, you can't, you gotta have the kid? It's like, okay, you're clearly not in the headspace to do it, like, and you don't want to do it, and you're about to stick a coat hanger up your pussy to do it. Like, I'm just like, okay, like, just let abortions happen. Like, it's not great, it's not my favorite thing on the planet, but like, it's better than the alternative, which is misery for everybody involved, and a baby that is completely shattered confidence, that has parents that don't even like it. Uh, I don't know. I don't think there's any circumstance in which I can think of to illegalize, where illegalizing abortions ends up has good outcomes is the thing. Like, you can maybe morally be like, I personally don't want to do abortion because I personally am like not invested in the idea of doing so, but I have trouble being like, the state should therefore tell everybody that this is how they must live. It's like, I'm not sure I can bridge that gap. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Like, do we want that child to live in that world? I would say no. I would say let like, we don't have to do that to that somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's my argument. Yeah. So I mean, that's your argument, though. If that's your belief, that's still a pro-choice belief, because the pro-life belief is that you want laws to dictate this, that other people have to do this. So so you agree with the pro-choice position then? Yeah, but there's so many children even now that need to be adopted that aren't like the demand is already too high. You know what I mean? Like we already have a high foster system and adoption system that's not being met by supply. Like the supply is too high for demand, if that makes sense. Like so I have. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, because people want their own children. Um, no, because I think from my understanding, people do surrogates because they want to be genetically related to the child. Like for example, a gay couple, or for example, uh, like somebody has a wife and their wife is barren, like she's not able to give birth, so they find a surrogate. So in either of those circumstances, they find a surrogate to have a child for them, right? And so in this circumstance, they're literally related to the child, but they have like this other woman who's the mother biologically, or they use her womb and they use the egg from the like they use her womb instead, but they use the egg and the sperm um from the other woman and they put it in this woman and they use her womb instead. These are the circumstances in which I understand surrogacy. So I think a lot of people it's mostly because they want to have their genetic components like come out as a baby, like they want their kid. It's a selfish thing, but like that's what they want. It's a genetics thing. Like I unfortunately like you can't really change people's minds about this. Like people usually are pretty like emotional about that. They're like, I want my kid. I don't want somebody else's kid that they left in a system. You know. I mean, that's not always the case, obviously, but I feel like that's why people want to have their own kids and why they don't adopt most of the time. It's because they want their kid, not somebody else's kid. Because they don't know what's up with that other person. Like, they don't know their family history either. They don't know what, like, genetic disorders they might have or this or that. Because it becomes a nightmare because you have to look at somebody else's family tree that's not yours. That I don't know. There's a whole bunch of reasons why people don't adopt, but I've noticed that that's probably the biggest reasons for it. Is that it, it's a selfish like I don't want to take care of somebody else's kid thing, and uh, yeah, that's my assumption on the matter. Truthfully, about that sort of thing. Sure. Uh, I don't know. Um, I mean, it seems like we kind of agree on this one for to some extent. So, um, it's not. It's a pretty complicated subject in general. Same guys. Yeah, same guys, and one dude called Liberal, and another guy called Angel. I don't know. Why is who's that? It's funny. What time? Bagel? Oh, I have no idea. Oh no, I don't think so. I'm probably gonna go get some dinner or something like that. Um, I'm the thing is, if he's not really interested in debate in general, like I'm not really interested in debating people who are not particularly interested in it. You know what I mean? I guess. I'm probably just gonna go grab dinner. Honestly, I've been sitting and doing this for a few hours now. I feel like so. I'm like, no worries. Nice. Love that. Oh, what about him? That's funny. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Sure. I guess you'll see, right? Oh yeah. Damn. Mm. For sure. Listen, if somebody wants to talk to me, type of thing, I'd like to do that. I'm more of just like I like conversation. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to deal with like antagonism or stuff like that necessarily. It's just like I like to just talk to people, get their position, question it, because people have strong opinions about things, and I like to try to break down why it is that they believe these things so that I can you know we can, because I believe in arriving that as a society, as people, we should all try to arrive to a point of believing in a common justice, believing in what things are just, this or that. And I think that you can only do that by really questioning presumptions and breaking down every assumption and this and that until you get to a basis where like, okay, like let's find a square one in which we can actually figure out what is and what isn't. That's how I feel like is the only way to move forward, as even as a society, is for us to all like come to the same understanding on basic reality and stuff. Yeah, sure.
There used to be a lot of that going on versus controlling the situation. Like what I like to do, I like to, like what I stated earlier when I was like, okay, pause, 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 and everybody like stopped because everybody was like talking over each other. I think that's more of like a, you do need moderation to control situations like that. I don't know if you
100%.
guys agree with either.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. And also the fact that I was emerging from that situation is another thing for me to get to know your debating style. And I think we are gonna take that advice of like creating another debate channel, or they already know about. They can move into rooms. They just choose not to.
Yeah, what I would say is that if they're not in the mood to argue or like to have conversation or to have disagreements, then it feels a little bit moot to be in a debate channel. You know, it's like then what's the point of like go into the man cave, you know, or like go into like if you really want to vent to people, like that's I feel like that makes more sense, no? Like then because if you don't want to be questioned on anything, then you're not really debating. You're like I said, you're kind of just masturbating. Like it's different.
Yeah, circle. I call it circle jerking.
100%. No, I mean that's yeah. You only want people who agree with you to circle jerk your position, so you're all self masturbating each other, and it's like I mean, if you want to do that, that's cool, but like that's not it's not very. I find it to be boring. It's like I clearly I think that we need to break down some of these assumptions that people have, and we need to understand why, and I need to understand why people have these assumptions, like especially when people use like loaded terms like terrorists. It's like I find this to be such a loaded term. It's like what does that mean? It's like is terrorist just like whoever the other side is? It's like because that's what I feel like sometimes people use the word terrorist and it's like it's whoever I don't like, and it's like that's a terrorist, and it's like okay, then that's what it is. It's your enemy. That's okay. That I can understand. It's the enemy. But to say it's just a terrorist, but like my side who does literal terrorism as well is not a terrorist, and it's like okay, so then these words don't mean anything, right? Like at some point or another, it's like if some people kill civilians and some people also kill civilians and both sides kill civilians, but we only call one side terrorism and the other side not, then it's like then what is terrorism? Like you're saying one's the enemy and one's not. Like could we use correct terms, or could we like at least understand what your version of terrorism means? Like what you know what I mean? Like I to me that's what matters. It's like it's about breaking down what words mean so that we can come to a common understanding to then have a conversation about it after the fact. But if you have like this like oh terrorist it's like okay then like you just don't like people who are not like you. It's different. Like it's like I get it, but these are it's the other side. You know, it's like it's a team sport at the end of the day. It's like I'm pro America. I'm on the America side. I'm on the America team, and it's like okay,
Yep. And that's how I got the feel of the room as well. To where you have to decide who is closed-minded and who is more open. And I think if you catch the vibe of the room, I don't know if you how to catch vibes.
oh, do I? No, not really.
I'm really good at catching vibes. Like I know the vibe of somebody without even knowing their name, of how they react and how they based on how they react, based on how they're passionate about one thing and it's closed minded. Like most mega, I've noticed is like closed minded and you can't change their ideologies for anything.
Yeah, but I think that part of that it comes from the fact that they never try to question themselves, you know, and I think maybe it would help if they started questioning things a little bit more. That's all.
Yep. And then you know what I noticed?
Mm.
The more that they question them, the more people that they got tired of questioning, what did they do with them? What do you think they do with them?
Kick, I assume.
Bingo.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like if somebody is antagonistic to your worldview, it's one of two things have to happen, right? One, you have to go through your own sort of crisis, which is that you have to question things that you believed and admit to yourself that you were maybe not 100%, like you don't necessarily know everything. And like I I think that the only way to be a healthy individual is to know that you don't know everything. Like not nobody knows everything. And I my concern is that some people think they know everything. And that's why I think it's important to question what people think, because if they don't, then they'll live in this hole their entire life in which they think they know everything. And they'll hate other people and they'll be dumb.
And time is the prime example. Either you agree with him or you don't, and he's going to continue to push and push and push. And if there's no resolution to him pushing and him coming to a point of agreeing with him, that's what led to all the kicking. Same thing with Dusty. Dusty, I don't know if you saw the guy with the long beard. He's also under questioning from uh, Euro for like kicking just because he doesn't like that person. We also are going to put a stop to that, which is why certain people like me, I don't usually say it out loud, but Time used to say it out loud that he's the head monkey, and if it's not his way, you're out, and it's not even his server.
But
Like
then
the first,
doesn't it make sense to kind of avoid a person like that, just try to talk to everybody else in the like I if he wants to be like I'm the king of the castle, then it's like okay, let me just circumvent this person who clearly doesn't agree with questioning, right? Or debate. So like so then I'm just gonna avoid him. No, is that because I don't want to get on his bad side, but I also would like to talk to other people in the chat in around. Like I have nothing against him. I like he, but he wants to do his thing, which is cool. Like I'm not gonna tell him he can't do his thing, but I don't want to be on his bad side either because I want to talk to other people to see if other people are willing to come to like common ground or common understanding or wanting to learn stuff together because like maybe I can learn stuff, maybe you can learn stuff, you know. I think that's important. No, like that's like I feel like that's the point of debate. It's not I win, you win. It's so that we can come to a common, oh huh, I didn't, okay, yeah, I guess there's that is a way of thinking about it, you know what I mean. Like I think that that's critical. I think that that's important, and I think the fact that we don't do that as a society is a big part of our ills. It's like we have these assumptions about people that are so vitriolic and so like you're the enemy. It's like maybe not. Maybe nobody there. Maybe you don't have any enemies, man. Like that's what I think. It's like maybe people are just people. You know, it's hard to just say people are the enemy.
we have the same exact idea.
Yeah, I think most people do. You know.
So there's a reason why Euro keeps him as a monk. So he has the bare minimum. He doesn't have power. He was drunk off of power before. Like I said, he was like, if you didn't like me, our numbers in the Discord was like at 500, and we've noticed that people were getting kicked out just because they didn't like him, for example, and the numbers dropped.
Oh, it's at 247. Yeah, that's crazy. Or like 300. Yeah. Wow, that's like half your members. Jesus Christ. He's committing purges. Damn, he's kind of like Stalin a little bit. Party purges.
Once Euro started mentioning that, then he talked to he pulled me aside and he goes, "Hey, how do you feel about this person? Should we completely remove his manga?" And I'm like, I don't know about completely removing his manga, but there should be a way to put it to where he has less
No, yeah, I mean, I would be concerned about somebody like that, especially if you're trying to create an environment for healthy debate. I maybe like I don't want to say anything bad about you, but maybe you're judging him a little too nicely then, if that's the case. I don't know. Like I would be worried if you're trying to create a place that's like conducive to debate that this guy is coming around and essentially doing purges, you know, like of people that he doesn't like. That it's very Stalin-esque, you know. Like especially if you want like free debate, like I, you know.
Yep, that's why me and you have been basically teaming up ever since I came in. I have no idea like anything about debates. I came here to learn, and I noticed that there's no way for me to learn if people can't get their points across or people are talking over each other. And I'm just like, okay, how the fuck am I learning if people are just like you can't understand anything?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's when I step in as a moderator. Just like, nope, this is not gonna be a thing.
Yeah, so maybe I would need to be in a circumstance in which it would have to be like more of a like a one-on-one thing, because like there's no way in which I can be in any sort of like conversation with multiple people if I can't stop people and be like, wait, you said I believe this or I think this. We need to break down why do you think that. You know what I mean? Like to me that like it might be annoying, it might be like really like tiresome and slow to get to the bottom of everything, but I think that that's the only way in which people can come to conducive understanding of anything, because otherwise two people are speaking in complete, it's like speaking in French and English, like people are just speaking complete different languages. It's like all the people I don't like are terrorists. It's like, and then the other side is saying like, oh, but I think all your side is terrorists. Like, okay, so we're just kind of like specifically like using words that nobody agrees with, and it just doesn't mean anything. Like this doesn't help. Like what's the point? Like you know what I mean? Like I don't see the point of any of that. Like it doesn't seem very like anything happens in that regard. Like the point the point is coming to truth, right? Like that's what we should want.
Or like in a debate style, it's just like one person either agreeing or just, and then you have to come to an end, not just continue and take up. If you do want to debate, it's just basically taking up time.
Yeah, I exactly. It just feels like for the most part, it's kind of a waste of time. And what I would say on top of that, though, is that I think that and the only way in my eyes that there is any circumstance in which that like the only way in which like you can have a conducive conversation is to define things or like because like for example the reason I don't like to give myself any political labels is because I've noticed that like if I say I'm this, if I say I'm that, if I say I agree with this or I agree with that, then I feel like most people will come to judge me immediately and be like, okay, well, I think you're the enemy because I don't agree with these positions. It's like, okay, well, I don't think that that's conducive or helpful, or I don't think that you're gonna work. Like, there's nothing, like, I would rather people to understand that I'm just a guy. I'm just a person who wants to get to the truth of things. I want to get to the bottom of things, and I think that there's no more honest answer I can give than that. Like that's why when people ask me, am I a Republican, am I a Democrat, am I a liberal, am I right, am I left, I'm like, if I give you an answer to that, immediately you're gonna pass a judgment based on your past experiences with other people who have given you these labels. And I don't think I'm not them. I'm my own person. And so I don't think that it's conducive to anything that you're gonna judge me based on your experiences with people who you think are like this or like that. So for me, I will always say I don't even like even the label independent because that even has a certain panache to it, like a certain like oh, like this person, like I don't even like to say I don't have any political opinions, but like I like to understand and try to question and try to break down why it is that people believe this. And let's say, does it make sense? Like, why do you believe this? You know, it's like, why do you feel so strongly about these things? And why is it so black and white? You know, that's to me, I think is more important because I think people feel very strongly about things. And it's like, sometimes it's like not that serious, or sometimes it's like you're wrong. Like, and you should be able to understand that maybe. Like, and I don't think there's any better way to do it than what I'm describing. You know, if you come at it with like a like you're wrong or I'm this, you're that, and like you're never gonna convince anybody. You're never gonna get anybody to agree with you because it's like, oh, of course you would say that because you're whatever label I want to give you. It's like, okay, then like, what are we talking? What's the point of what we're doing? You know, like that's why I don't like the labels. Is because everybody likes to, like, even in the video, like he was saying that I'm a leftist. It's like, okay, then like uh, already it's like you've decided that I'm a thing, like that you don't like, and this is what I am to you. So therefore you want to attack me, I'm the enemy. You know what I mean? It's like that's what it becomes. And it's like, but I'm like, I'm not. So that's just your I'm just Labneh. That's me. That's it. Like you don't have to put a
You actually did give him a good response to that because that's like, well, that's your opinion. Like you're not saying that you are or you're not. That's just it's like the perfect response to that because they want to in that situation he wanted to trigger you.
yeah, but
And it's like no, I'm not that.
yeah, I that's why I usually ignore it. I'm like, I don't like the label. Let's move past that. Let's try to actually get to the bottom of what is true. What is truthful? What is the truth? Like, isn't that the point? Isn't that what we're doing here?
And I'm not gonna lie, your debate style is really good. Like you get to the bottom of what you want to talk about. If you agree with it, if you can maybe convince him to take your side. If not, move on.
Yeah.
A lot of his debate style is like a bunch of I don't know, just clickbaity type stuff and like
Oh, I know. He clipped only the part where like he started talking about rent control and that's what he clipped. I was like, oh my god, like shit, dude. like I didn't even go in talking about rent control. I was like, he brought it up. I was like, okay. I was like, this. I don't even know anything about this, brother. Like, like I didn't come in, and like people in the comments were like, "Oh, this guy who came in didn't even come in with any numbers." Like, I wasn't trying to. I want to know what you believe and why you believe this. Like, it has nothing to do with coming in with numbers. Like, you know, I think it's silly. I think debate is that's why people say debate purgatory because there's like a certain level of purgatory to it. It's like it's because it's like there's no reality anymore. It's just whatever you want your reality to be. It's like then what is anything? Like nothing matters. Like there's no. That's why like at the end of the day, the debate at towards the end of the night, he started going like, oh, so what? Like everything's nuanced, nothing matters, and it's like, I mean, to some extent. Things do matter, things can matter to you, but like yes, things are nuanced. I think that that's fair. I think not everything is so black and white. Like I think that was my problem with his positions on stuff. It's like you believe in things very strongly and it's like but it seems like you have no reason to be so strongly believing some of these things and it's like I don't know. I don't think it's fair to be such a strong believer in things just because your side agrees with this and it's like but then it's like why do you even have a side at the end of the day because it's like the side you are a different person than your hat than Trump than MAGA or like everybody's different like why do we have to align ourselves with things that we don't even necessarily when we actually break it down that you'd actually agree with or believe in like we are all individuals we're not the flag that we hold up we're not the thing that we are like that we align ourselves with like you know I want to get back to a time when, you know, people were just people. They weren't like a color or like a fucking thing. Like, you know, we're not objects. We're all complicated individuals with different lives, and that's what I want to get back to.
That brings me up to another person that you might have to meet. His name is Chris the Lawyer. Well, he goes by Chris the Lawyer,
Mhm.
but he constantly changes his name too soon. But yeah, I think you might align with his debate style as well.
Oh, he was in the chat. He was in the chat yesterday, right? He was talking about how he's a lawyer and he like understands the Socratic method quite well because he's a lawyer. Is that the guy?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. He's yeah. He seemed like a chill guy from the brief second I talked to him. Like I didn't really talk to him, but you know.
I mean, he also does one-on-ones as well. So if you want to debate him one-on-one,
Yeah,
that'd be a good way.
and I don't want to also take away from what the streamers got going on here, but like I also like if people want like a place where it's like more open and it's like less like maybe a little less tyrannical about conversation and stuff, like I'd be willing to have my own server as well that people can hop into and like talk about these sorts of things, whatever they want to talk about as well. Like I don't want to really set rules or boundaries as long as people are trying to engage like honestly with each other. Like I think that would be much more cohesive. Like that's what I want to do too. You know.
I'm probably gonna create a voice channel that is 1v1 because debate voice chat is kind of getting chaotic. I've noticed that. So I might actually
I think
make one of these.
I think I sent you an invite to my server too. By the way, I so that I can maybe help. You know, we can always shift there if you ever feel like the people in here are like not conducive to talking, you know what I mean? Like yeah, obviously in this chat as well, but like, you know, I if you want to like dip out of this server as well, it's not dip, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you need another space that's like probably like I'm not going to like fucking tell you what to do or what not to do, you know? Like I
Hmm. Yeah, I'm always open to different servers and different oppositions. Like I'm not gonna just be in this server. I'm in another server which is called the Cosmos, another chill server.
hmm. Okay.
I mean, they barely got anything going on. It's basically quiet, but like every time I do pop in, they're just like, "Hey, what's up, champ, man?" And they're always like super nice.
Mm-mm-mm. That's cool.
because because of my presence, of course, coming from Euro's channel, which kicked most of them off, which
Oh, wow. Yeah.
it caused them to break Cosmos.
Oh. Send me an invite. I'd love to talk to them too. I listen. I anybody because for me, I want to go back to the original meaning of debate, which is not argument for argument's sake. It's debate. It's to find like the real Greek meaning of debate and argument, which is to find a common agreement on stuff. Like really go back to like Socratic stuff on this regard. You know what I mean? Like I think that that's important to understanding truth and reality. That's where I'm at.
Yep, I'll definitely invite you to two servers that I know that's pretty chill. There's another guy called the Philosopher. He recently got kicked from the server as well, but I invited him to the backup server because it's more of a contained um, debate style versus chaotic like you described.
Right.
I think the backup is more of like I would say it's more open minded versus closed minded.
Okay. Yeah, invite me to either or both. I would love to discuss and talk with new people, other people, anything. I just don't want to like deal with like you know like
I don't know, like dictatorial stuff. Like I want to get to the bottom of truth. That's what matters to me.
Definitely. Let me send you the Cosmos one real quick. And the philosopher, which is he is African, and I think his beliefs is like he's of course anti-MAGA. He's anti-MAGA. He's always looking for debating MAGA and his streams, which a lot of people do not want to go into his live debates, but
Oh yeah?
sorry,
Why not?
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, he's tried to gain activity to try and debate Euro, but that did not end well because he got into it with the bearded one, which is racist Gandalf, and he also got into it with Time, and they basically just like Euro popped in, and they all basically ganged up on him. He didn't feel comfortable,
Mm.
and he just said, you know what, if you guys are gonna be like this, I might as well not even participate. And he tried to go kind of like around the server, and they kind of caught him doing that, going around the server, try to cherry pick people to debate or try to go to his server.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Uh, yeah, they got him for that to cherry pick because
Oh,
he wanted to bring him onto his live.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with that in particular that he has his own space to and own rules to debate and stuff like that?
Uh, it's just the way that he put it out there. He's just like, who comes into a server demanding the only way that I'm going to debate you is if you come to my server. I'm not going to debate on your terms. I'm going to debate on my terms. And the arrogancy got to Euro and all the people. They got that vibe of arrogancy, and they're just like, you know what? If you're going to be like this, we're not going to tolerate this. And they just all just ganged up on him.
Yeah, I mean,
And Euro minded.
but I mean, I mean, we discussed it too, even in this conversation, though, that maybe that Euro and maybe not Euro, but like at least Time, right? His debate tactics or debate, it's not really debate, right? Like I feel like we both agree that it's kind of hard to agree that it's debate, right? Like especially if he specifically does not want to have conversations with people that disagree with him, or like you said it depends on the time, but it's like okay, then it's like but he gets to decide the terms, right? A little bit, it's like it's kind of hard to it, it's I don't know.
I mean, back in the day, if you didn't like someone, you just kicked them, which should never be the case. Like the final decision should have always been Euro.
100%, yeah.
Yep.
That's
Even
un-
when I catch people slipping, and I gave the example of somebody that was a white supremacist, and
mhm.
he got into a lot of people underneath a lot of people's skins, and based off of his the way he was acting towards people, which is just like personal attacks and calling people like retarded or you're a fucking idiot and no debate tactics at all. We don't need you. You can leave.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense.
Yep.
No,
And
I'm
that
yeah.
pissed a lot of people off.
No, I mean as you should, because then it's not debate, right? It's just I want to trigger you, I want to make you mad, and it's like to some extent, like obviously, that's part of also maybe even Euro's tactic a little bit. It's like I want to trigger you, I want to make you mad, so that you can say some shit you don't want. Like that seems unsavory. Um, but I think that obviously there is some level here of wanting to do debate, right? Of wanting to incorporate some level of debate. So
I would hope that people would want to align with those values to some extent, at least. Yeah.
It's more of like intelligence versus this guy's a fucking Nick Fuentes supporter. He wants to spread all these things that Nick Fuentes is saying.
Hmm. And oh, there are people in the server? This server is like very much against that. Is that the idea?
It's just annoying.
Yeah.
We have gotten encountered Nick Fuentes supporters in Zero's chat, and they're just like spewing a bunch of nonsense, and I've timed them out. Like we don't have the ban option or like the kick option on. I just have the option to like time them out because they're spewing a bunch of neo-Nazi idealists, and we don't want that in our server. We really don't.
Okay. That's good.
Neo-Nazis, none of this racial. I mean, people can get racial to a certain extent,
Right. I mean, I'm of course. I mean, a lot of these politics do. A lot of it does stem from that sort of stuff. So I can understand it that it does get there.
yeah, there's a way of like targeting, like using words against people, which I personally don't tolerate. I've talked to Sierra about that, like calling someone the N word, the hard R. Yeah, once that happens, usually just immediately kick.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, because obviously, first of all, that's TOS, so it does not help his stream that people would ever say that stuff, and
Yeah, exactly.
also it's not a debate. So yeah.
Yeah, those are not. That's just trash.
Yeah.
Trashy server.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
But yeah, what do you plan on eating? You gonna go pretty soon?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I just have stuff in the fridge. I guess I'll just judge some shit. I'll figure it out. I'll see what I got and just throw some shit together. I guess. I don't know because I've been sitting at my computer. I'm not even on my phone right now. So, but I guess I should go do that. All right. Good talk.
I'm gonna go check on. I'm gonna go check on the other server and see what's up.
Sure thing. Talk to you later, man. Good talk. See you.